How's it, everybody? It's Lena Girl right here in the Kanileʻa Sound Studios, and I hope you're ready to meet another fantastic player. This would seriously be the most adventurous Kanileʻa player you will ever come to know, and I can't wait to bring him on. It's Jody Kamisato right here on the Artist Spotlight with the Breakdown. Jody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Jody Kamisato of Ukulele Hale. I'm excited to talk story with this guy. I want you to know all the cool things that I know about him and maybe even more. Yeah?
Awesome.
Brother, I came into the Kanileʻa family, at least working here. I was a artist from 2007, but I came in, I started working here in 2015 as the artist relations person. Mm-hmm. But you were already a part of the family. Do you remember when you jumped on?
Yeah, so about 2010.
Oh, nice.
When Heart and Soul first formed. And that's right around the time where I got connected to the Kanileʻa Ohana.
Heart and Soul, I know it started out as a trio, correct?
Actually, we're a duo. So our original member was Chris.
Okay.
And then, and so right around that time is where we started to perform and then eventually record an album.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I know you had some performance chops in regards to Disney. We'll talk story about that in a little bit. But so since 2010, part of the Kanileʻa family, I jump on and, you know, I'm asked by the Susa Ohana, Lena, can you please take care of our artists? Please get to know our artists. So I'm like, shoots. So I jump on this guy's Instagram, and the first picture I see, I'll never ever forget it. The first picture I see is him standing on a mountain peak, and you're holding an ukulele up, and I'm like, how did he get there? Like, it was like almost like a helicopter dropped you there or something like that. Do you remember that shot?
Yes, I believe we were like on the Big Island, and I bring my ukulele everywhere. So when I travel, and I love to just do adventurous stuff. And I remember being on the top of some cliff, and I was more worried about the ukulele than myself.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm glad you're safe. But the ukulele. No, but I love that the ukulele takes you all over the place. I know you do a lot of, you love to surf. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing a lot of your adventurous, in the curl kind of shots. Mm-hmm. You love a little bit of your photography, right?
Love it.
And but tell me about other cool places that the ukulele has taken you.
I've been very blessed. The ukulele took me all over the world. And so, I've been to Japan and Taiwan and Europe. But I think one of my most memorable experiences was actually traveling to South Africa with some friends. And we went up there for adventure. And so we were like, this is back in 2007. And, we wanted to do the world's highest bungee jump, swim with great white sharks.
What?
And we camped in Kruger National Park. But it was at the end of this tour that we were able to go to a squatter camp in Soweto. And you just see thousands of huts. And these are where the locals live. And so I thought we were just going to drive by. And our tour guide, Mandy, was like, no, I want you guys to come and I want you to meet my friends and family. And so we got out, and immediately you could smell like the stench. You could see that there's no electricity, no running water.
And this is how people are living.
So already it just gave me so much perspective. And I remember taking a look around and just feeling hopeless, but at the same time, it gave me so much perspective. And I had my ukulele that day.
You did?
I did. And it was in the car, and I said, Mandy, can I just play for these kids? And she's like, oh, they would love it. So grabbed my ukulele and just went out and started to play. And within seconds, I was just surrounded in a sea of kids. And I remember playing and looking around and feeling this immense love, something I've never felt before. And at that moment, I knew several things. I knew, one, that music is the universal language of mankind.
Right, because they obviously, you guys not speaking the same language.
We're not speaking the same language.
Except for music.
Absolutely,
right.
100%. And I knew that music is unity because it brought us all together. Mm-hmm. I knew that it's good medicine because despite whatever we were all going through, we were one. I also knew that it was love, and I got it all in that second. And I remember playing, and this little girl grabbed onto my leg, and she looked up, and she had the biggest smile. And I had chicken skin, and I was like, wow.
I'm having chicken skin telling this story. It's
right?
crazy.
This is the power of this instrument.
Yes.
This is the power of music. And so at the moment, I just knew my my purpose in life, my mission, and that's to connect the world one strum at a time by sharing my love and passion for music and the ukulele and the aloha spirit. And it was during a challenging time in my life. Like I wasn't clear on what I really wanted to do.
What your mission was.
What my mission was. But it was that moment, just standing in the sea of kids and seeing their smiling faces, being connected and feeling just pure love, that I knew, okay, I'm gonna come back to Hawaii and follow my passion. And that's teaching and performing and anything to do with ukulele.
That's so crazy. But can I ask you? I don't want us to go too much on a tangent because I want to follow this course. I know you did something great with it. That's why, and I want everybody to know that. But what were you before the ukulele? I mean, what did you go to school for, or what was going to be the trade or your career prior to this?
To be honest, I was lost. I mean, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I mean, people were saying, "Hey, Jody, you're going to be a great engineer," but I hated math.
Oh. Kind of important. Wait, but math is music. Music is math, right?
True. And I found that out later. And so at that time, I had a friend who later became my mentor, Jake Shimabukuro. And he was my teacher, and I was taking private lessons. And he said, "You know, Jody, I see something in you. And I'm going to open a school called Ukulele Academy, and I want you to teach with me." And so I said, wow.
Dude,
whoa, okay, if Jake is asking me,
yes,
that he must see something that I don't see. And so that was right around the time where I went to South Africa. And all these things were like aligning. And so I came back, started teaching, fell in love with teaching. And then a year later, Jake's career took off, became a solo performer.
Which is awesome.
Which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And so his brother Bruce and I started teaching together in their garage.
Oh, humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
That's literally. Okay. Kanileʻa ukulele started in a garage.
In a garage,
that too, right? We all start in garages.
What's with garages?
Good gathering places.
Yeah. And so a few years later, we're like, you know what? We got to find a professional place, a brick and mortar place. So we found one in Kaimuki on 12th Avenue. And so we've been teaching there since 2002. So it's been 21 years.
Wow, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Wait, so I know Ukulele Hale is brick and mortar, which is amazing to me, honestly, in this day and age, because everybody does stuff online. Mm-hmm. And I know that the pandemic shifted a lot of people towards that. But you still continue to keep a physical space for your students. Why do you think that that's important?
Yes. I mean...
Because that's costly. I mean, you're paying for the lease, you're paying for electricity, you're paying for, everything that comes with just keeping that space. And then, of course, having your time. Mm-hmm, so, I mean, when it's so much easier to just Zoom them, right?
Absolutely.
Why would you do that?
Well, so when the pandemic hit, right, we had to pivot and figure out, okay, how are we going to continue teaching? Because up until that point, we were in-person lessons. And so when we jumped on Zoom, it was a challenge. But it was also a great opportunity to connect with students for not just in Hawaii, but all over the world. And throughout the pandemic, we continued that Zoom lessons. But to be honest, I felt like there was something missing. I felt like, you know what, we miss the in-person laughter, the communication, just being in each other's presence, living in the moment, And so as much as we were grateful for the opportunity to connect with students on Zoom, we said, when this is all over, or when things get better, we're going to go straight back into in-person lessons. And so once we had that opportunity, we jumped on it, and we're still continuing Zoom lessons.
Oh, you're doing both then?
We're doing both.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
Because, with what you do online, you can reach a little farther than Kaimuki.
Yes. Right.
But you still have that in-person deep connection. And I think that I agree with you. That's an easy way to learn, a better way to learn, right?
Absolutely.
So how many students do you have now?
So we have about 200 students.
Whoa! How many instructors is part of your team?
Right now we have three instructors. Gina Sunada, she's been with us from day one since 2007. So we're incredibly grateful for her and her support. Also Cody Chung, and they're both amazing ukulele artists and also great teachers. And so when we started Ukulele Hale, Hale means home in Hawaiian.
Yes.
And we wanted to create a place where students can feel safe, they can feel comfortable, and we can connect with each other. It's just like a sense of Ohana.
I like it.
Yeah.
I walked into your offices before. There's a couch. It's like a living room. It's very comfortable. I see on the wall this big map, and all of the places that the ukulele has taken you to, and where the ukulele can take any one of your students, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Now, here's a crazy thing, though, brother, and we really got to discuss this, is that while you are an incredible instructor, I see a lot of your energy in performance. And I think to myself that with someone with your performance style, you've got an incredibly dynamic, energetic performance style. When you jump on stage, you leave it all out there. And I love that. And I think every performer strives to do that. And I think to myself, when I watch you perform, you could easily be just performing, performing, doing festivals, doing events, traveling the world. But here you are instructing at the same time. So I got to ask you, what do you love more? The performance or the instruction?
Ooh, that's a tough question. That's a Barbara Walters Lena girl question.
If you could only choose to do one.
That's tough. I really love being on that stage, and I love connecting with the audience. There's nothing like that feeling, But I gotta say, teaching.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So that means you would never ever step out on stage again, and you would give it all up to your students.
Yeah, so we
Pour
have
it all into them.
We have a built-in stage at our studio.
I saw that. That's amazing.
So I guess we can still continue to be on that stage, but I love teaching.
And tell me the ages of your students.
So our
Who's your
youngest,
youngest?
is 4.
What?
4 years old.
Okay, if your 4-year-old plays better than me, I'm gonna cry. Probably. And who's your oldest?
So our oldest student, our most experienced student, is a gentleman named Ted.
Ted.
And he was 96. And so recently I found out that Ted had passed on.
No.
And he's been really just an inspiration. I remember the day he called me, and he was 89 years old, but he called me and he didn't tell me his age at first. And he said, I'm here, I want to sign up for lessons. At that time, we had a wait list. So I said, I appreciate the call, but we can get you waitlisted and we'll get you on as soon as we can. A few months go by, get a call again. Hey, Jody, this is Ted. I just want to let you know I'm 89 years old. I said,
how long do I need to wait?
I said, okay, we'll work on something. And so he came in as a student, and he's been such a inspiration over the years. And he said, I said, Ted, what's a secret? Because a lot of my students at times, they are my teachers. They're my mentor. Yeah. And he said, Jody, I'll tell you a few things.
The secret of
life.
Secret of happiness? Or?
Because he's not only, he's lived in an internment camp. He got everything taken away as a kid. And he's been through so much. And to start ukulele at 89 years old is a good testament that anybody can play the ukulele at any age, yeah. At any time. It's never too late.
Right.
So that's one. And then he said, Jody, smile. He's that's free and it's contagious. He said, to treat people how you want to be treated. He said, to do the things in life that bring you joy and do it now. He said, life is short. And it's tough.
So he was with you for 7 years as a student?
Yeah. Wow. And I tried to...
What an incredible lesson.
I tried, we stayed in touch. Sorry.
Thank you so much, family, for bearing with us. We took a little bit of a break. And the only thing that I'm really sad about is I never got a chance to meet Ted. But he sounds like a super awesome guy. And it seems to me that as an instructor, you are walking away learning more from them than you're teaching them. I mean, those life lessons I think are that Ted shared with you are are going to be with you forever. Yeah.
I honestly feel so blessed because I feel like my students are my greatest teachers, and I'm the student in many cases.
Yeah.
And Ted is a great example. He's just one of many students that have taught me so much, and so I look forward. I look forward to going to Ukulele Hale. I look forward to being connected with our students in Ohana. And it's something that I'm passionate about. I literally just wake up and I can't wait to go to work.
I love that. You did mention that there's a stage at Ukulele Hale. And again, like I said earlier, adventurous Kanileʻa artist, not just for himself, but for his students too, because while there are instructors out there that they'll just teach, you tend to give your students an opportunity to perform. It's not only just about you learning the strums and the finger style and stuff like that. You want them to get out there and play their instrument. And one of our favorite events that Jody and I have actually worked together on is the Ukes Fest.
Ukes.
It happens in October. It happens at Duke's Canoe Club in Waikiki. So right there on the beach, they pop up tents and they pull in literally Hawaii's top ukulele players to come in and judge these students and these players and contestants, and a lot of them are your students, right?
I gotta say, it's one of our favorite events all year round, and honestly, you are a big part of it. Lena is the MC, and you bring so much aloha, and you make all our students feel so comfortable.
Well, I gotta tell you honestly, I worry sometimes for them. They're like 6, 7. Some of them, the ukuleles are bigger than them. You have these little 6 and 7-year-olds playing full tenors, and I'm like, what is this little baby gonna do? Right. But I love that you've given them this kind of confidence to step on stage, and that starts in the school with that stage.
So we built this 2-inch stage platform, and literally it's 2 inches. But you jump on that stage and it just changes the entire dynamic. So students recognize like, hey, now the spotlight's on me. So we do teach them performance, showmanship, connecting with the audience. And I feel like that's a whole nother facet of instruction. So of course they learn the musicality, techniques, and that's great. But we also feel that it's important to also learn how to connect with people through music. And so Heart and Soul and working with Disney has really given me that insight and really trained me from the bottom up, to really learn the importance of connecting. And
connecting through performance.
Through performances.
Yeah.
And so opportunities like Duke's, where it's a contest setting, gives them a goal, and it gives them, it helps them build character too. Like you said, like having these kids playing in front of judges and complete strangers, that is terrifying.
Yes, it is.
Right? But at the same time, they're learning so much, not just in music, but in life. And so when they're able to go up and maybe do a speech in front of their class, they have that confidence within them.
Right. And you're not an instructor in absentia. You are there on site with them. You're talking story with them. He's seriously, like, I think if there are any instructors out there in the world, this is definitely a page you guys can take from Jody's book, and just being there for your students when they are performing. And I love that. Now, you did mention Disney and Aulani and performance. And yes, I can imagine that Disney's standards of performance are high. You worked at the Aulani with Heart and Soul for some time, right?
We were the featured act in the Starlit Hui show.
And wait, that's the very, very first show that they had at Aulani.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes. And so it's such a great honor and privilege to work with Disney and learn from the directors who worked on shows all over the world. And so we had months and months of practice and grooming us, basically. And so we had some wild experiences.
Yeah, share one. Share like the most memorable Aulani experience. I mean, 5 years there. And just so that you folks have context, especially if you don't live on Oahu, Jody lives on one side of the island in Kaimuki, Hawaii Kai area, which is east side. And he has to drive all the way to the other side of the island, west side. And that was every day for 5 times?
5 years.
Every day for 5 years.
Yeah.
So out of that 5 years and all those great performances, share the most memorable, the one that sticks in your mind the most.
We've had so many. But I got to say, Heart and Soul, when we would perform with our barefoot. And that was just part of our costume.
Yeah.
So it was
being
shorts,
connected.
Aloha shirt, being connected with the aina, being connected. And so there was one moment where right before we go on stage, the lights dim, The music comes on slowly, right? So I'm in the back. I'm like jumping, getting all ready, excited, trying to stoke myself up. And then I feel this like tingling sensation on my foot. So I look down, and it's a centipede.
Oh, I thought it was a cockroach. Centipede.
Centipede. And then I get bit.
Oh no!
So I just fly that centipede off. And then they're like, heart and soul. And there's nothing we can do. We just got to jump on that stage. When they say heart and soul, it's call time. So heart and soul, I'm like, oh man. So I run up on stage and I'm in excruciating pain. But show got to go on, right? So I have this smiling face. I'm like, okay, Jody, you can do this. You can do this. 10 minutes, high energy, heart and soul. We'll pull through this. But I got to say, that was the most pain I've ever had in my life, my entire life. And I got to remember, like, okay, you know what? This is Disney. We got to pull through, be a professional. But then that part of me was like, I just want to give up. I just want to run off that stage and cry. So the moment I got off stage, they called the ER. And I mean, the ambulance came down. And I'm allergic to bees. So I wasn't sure if I was allergic to centipedes. So now I'm a little hesitant about going barefoot.
I imagine.
But that's got to be definitely my most...
When you see Jody jump on stage with a hazmat suit, that's the reason why.
A new costume.
Bubble boy. Put you in a bubble. We just put you in a bubble. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But you know what? The show must go on.
Show must go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tell my students all the time, show must go on.
Show must go on.
Yeah, make a mistake, just keep going.
And now that we say that the show must go on, what can we say for Jody in the next 5 years? His show continues. Where is the ukulele going to take you now? You've been to South Africa, you've been to Japan, Europe, I'm sure all across the United States. And where do you see the ukulele taking you now?
I really want to connect with the world. So if there's opportunities, I think hopefully maybe it can, I was thinking this over and creating some kind of camp for not just kids, but...
Well, you have a youth leadership group, right?
Right.
Team Hale.
Team Hale.
So these are your keiki that have gotten a little bigger, and now they kind of want to find a way to give back and volunteer and teach back or something like that. Is that it?
Right. And I had growing up, some really great mentors in my life. Jake, Peter Moon, Troy Fernandez, teachers and mentors. And I always knew that there's something more than just playing or for people or learning, but how can we give back? How can we use our music to give back to the community or to the world? And so I wanted to start something with our students and teach them that these little life lessons that, hey, you know what? We play, as much as we play for ourselves, why not share that with the world too? And how can we connect the world? And so I was very fortunate to partner up with Hawaii Tourism Japan and bring this youth leadership team to Japan. And in the process, connect with them through Zoom and teach each other about our culture, about our language. And so we wrote a song together with this, I call them Team Kanazawa. And it's these kids that play the ukulele in Japan. And so we were able to foster this relationship through the ukulele. And then our goal was to take this youth leadership team to Japan, be on that stage and perform together. And so that Hawaii Tourism Japan made that happen. They said, Jody, we love your mission and we want to make this happen. So with this group, I foresee doing more things within the community, giving back, and ultimately leaving this world a better place.
That's beautiful, brother. What if people want to connect with you? What if there's somebody out there that says, man, I want to be a part of Ukulele Hale. I want to be a part of what they do. I want to give back and help Team Hale get to where they want to go. How can people connect with you?
So you can reach us at ukulelehale.com, and we're on Instagram and Facebook, Ukulele Hale. If you're ever in Kaimuki, come down, visit us. We're right on 12th Avenue in the Kaimuki Professional Building.
Oh, and plenty good places to eat over there too. The Grinds. The Grinds, 12th Ave. 12th Ave.
I wrote so many songs about these food places, which is my inspiration. So, yeah, but come visit, say hello. We don't bite. But yeah, come down. And Ukulele Hale is a second home for everybody. So we welcome all of you. And yeah, if you ever see me, say hello. That's truly the greatest thing about the ukulele. And I truly believe it's the instrument of aloha.
It is. I do believe that as well. Yeah. Connecting the world one strum at a time. I love it. Jody Kamisato with Ukulele Hale right here with Kanileʻa Ukulele.